Hello everyone, Ryan here. Happy early new year. It is December 31st, 2025. I hope everyone has a wonderful and enjoyable evening. I want to thank you all for tuning in to my videos. And if you are new this year in 2025 or you have been following me for a while, I feel very fortunate that you have agreed to participate in this journey with me. I hope I have brought you some enlightenment, some education, some knowledge, and I hope you are having the best of experiences. So let's get into our questions. We have a few good ones here. Thank you for sending these in. This question's a little long, so I'm going to shorten it so you get the gist of it. This person said that twice in lucid dreams they were pushed back and another moved forward briefly by like a cartoonishly looking entity. Another time it came through while they were in twilight sleep and it was laying exactly like them next to them and had like a cartoon villain laughter. Then they also go into a close relative that appeared to be possessed and experienced severe physical and emotional stress, and they had some experiences with something that was attached to this person. This person was wondering if there was a deeper primal layer to our spiritual form. And earlier, this person had asked, do we have an other, or is it always an attached entity? So good questions. Thank you very much, and thank you for explaining there. The things that you were asking about are absolutely entities. So when it comes to us, we have many layers of ourselves. There's not any layer to you, to the average person, that is sort of a dark entity type creature. Now, don't get me wrong, we have our shadow self, but that would be very different than what you're explaining here. So this is further understanding of what entities are and the many, many different kinds. So entities like what you're describing there, they will always try to be scary. That's really how you know it's not part of you, because like I said, even though you have different layers of yourself, you don't have a part of you that is trying to come across as some demonic, scary thing trying to unnerve you. Okay, like we do have our anxiety and we have our fears and things, but that's not really the same thing. These things like to mimic, they like to bring about fear. So in this case, by it sort of mimicking and mocking you, it knows you're going to think, is this me? And that's really unnerving. So their goal is always, how much can I scare this person? And they usually will know what scares you. I mean, these beings are knowledgeable, depending on what degree they are, because there are varying levels. Some are very, very knowledgeable, okay, and very intuitive, and they can sense into your fears. And that's because they're reading your energy, and they're capable of doing it, okay. Some of them are very, very low level and almost like blobs of nothing that don't have any purpose, or they're not trying to do anything per se, but this seems like something that was a little more advanced. So that was an attached entity, and without looking into your energy, there could be a million reasons why it was in your energy, and it's probably moved on now. But I guess my point of rambling here is that anytime something like that happens, you need to call in protection, and you need to probably also do a clearing on yourself. And it can be something as simple as asking your angels and guides to please give me a clearing. And then when you see or sense something like that, you just say, I demand you leave. It's that simple. It's almost too simple, and that's why people don't do it, but it's incredibly effective and it's incredibly powerful, because you're standing in your energy and you're basically saying you're not allowed to be in it. So it's, I demand you leave. And then later you can sort of investigate why maybe that thing was in your energy. I'm not a big fan of the word possessed, because all of us get these varying levels of attachments and darker entities in our energy all the time, and that doesn't make us possessed. I would say it's more about what's going on with you and to what degree, and how many of those things have gotten in. What kind of chaos are they creating internally? When these things show up in our energy, it's a reflection of what's going on with you. So even in your relative's case, if there was definitely things in his energy, but it was a reflection of what was going on with him. And then you get into this hairy area where, to some extent, there was permission granted, and they're very tricky about how they get permission. It's not like, hey, come on in or anything like that. It can be lifestyle, it can be self-care, it can be how you're taking care of yourself mentally and physically. And I don't mean that in a blame way, just factually. There's so many elements. I mean, sometimes it can be past trauma, or places we haven't healed. I mean, I could go on and on, but that's also why I don't like the word possessed, because that kind of puts us in a position of being powerless, like something's able to just get your energy and take over. And really, that's not the case. We are in charge of our energy, but like I said, they can be very tricky about how they get in, but ultimately these things are always a reflection of us. And they like to hang out sometimes on the outskirts of your energy. So when you were seeing something sort of right next to you that was mimicking you, and I've had that happen myself, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's at night when you're more receptive, you're seeing into other dimensions, and you're also seeing it into other layers of yourself. You're more receptive to that, and that's why sometimes you'll see these dark things, or things that look like you, or sometimes they don't look like you, right on the edge of your energy. And it's really because they're in your energy. Ultimately, they're just trying to make you nervous. But a lot of the information they get is telepathic. So as you're thinking and going, oh my god, what's this, and is that a version of me, or I'm really scared, they are telepathically picking up on it, and they feed off of it. And any evil laughing, they love that. They love to do a dark evil laugh, and or whisper in your ear. I mean, they do all the typical shit you'd think some scary being would do. And I'm saying that to you in hopes that for anyone watching this, when you have that stuff happen, be like, oh, get out of here, I demand you leave, what a bluffer, because they're definitely trying to feed off your fears.